skills. Hundreds of young people finding work through government's Job Start Plus program. Former government minister, the late Rudolph Greenidge, laid to rest.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley has been moved to comment on the island's latest gun-related crime, which resulted in a 12-year-old girl being injured. The child was shot in one of her wrists and in one of her legs. Ms. Motley says it's unacceptable.
I am truly sorry to have learned last night about a young child, 12 years old, who received, obviously, a bullet from cars going through the neighborhood. It is unacceptable. And that is why a few weeks ago I called on all Bajans. We need to step up. We've had young people last week and this week again. This battle will not be won by the police alone, by the other law enforcement officers alone, by the government alone, none of us alone. This battle will only be won when all of us step up and start to be able to apply our hearts to wisdom. Guns do not walk, guns do not talk. And I want to reach out to all who may be inclined to want to settle disputes in this way. You are going to hurt innocent people. And I'm asking us, please, across our communities, the mothers, the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the children, those who you know may be tempted to use guns, let us talk with them and let us get them to put it down. Because innocent people are being hurt, and we know better than that as Bajans.
The 12-year-old girl was among a group of children playing outside her home in Silver Hill, Christchurch, when a man emerged from a vehicle and sprayed the area with gunshots. That's according to Police Communications and Public Affairs Officer Inspector Rodney Innes, who says the incident happened just after 8 last night. He says the injured girl was taken by neighbors to the hospital. Well, meanwhile, United Nations child rights expert Faith Marshall-Harris says a gunman shooting in an area where children are playing is extremely worrying.
Because we would wish to think that while children are at home, they should be in a safe space, and that space should not be invaded by gunfire. And I wish the family all the very best. I know it's going to be a difficult time for them, but please understand that certainly from my point of view, my thoughts and prayers are with them.
Ms. Marshall-Harris is in Geneva, Switzerland, attending a child rights and safety discussion organized by the United Nations.
Here I'm dealing globally with the plight of children around the world, but I'm concentrating mainly at this time on the children in Gaza and right now children who suffered in the fires in Brazil. Children who are in the middle of flooding and so on. So normally I am not dealing at this stage with such a tragic event in Barbados, and concerned.
In other news now, government is in talks with the University of the West Indies to create a plan on the delivery of mathematics. This from Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Marcia Cadell, at the end of a 5-week science and technology camp at the St. Michael's School. Her comments come amid concerns about the decline in this year's CXE maths results.
Campers of this year's inaugural Ministry of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology Summer Camp are officially scientists in training. At the end of 5 weeks, the children have learned many elements of science. They showcased their new talents for parents and well-wishers, including Minister of Innovation, Industry, Science and Technology, Marcia Cadell. She's underscored the need to have such learning environments to drive new ways of teaching. And with education transformation on the horizon, she says this will give the pipeline for much-needed scientists.
More and more we realize that in order to have a competitive economy, we need to teach people and grow citizens who know how to create, who know how to find gaps in the market and fill those gaps. And this is one of the things that we hope that this camp is able to do. We saw recently that the Caribbean Examinations Council had some things to say about the scores in mathematics. And we think that there is a tremendous role for camps like this and for third sector organizations and for not just the Ministry of Education and the government and the formal education institutions, but for all of us to have an interest in how we teach science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Additionally, Ms. Cadell says in everything, scientific standards are needed, and initiatives such as this camp show a need to bolster the curiosity and creation of things.
From our perspective in industry, innovation, science, and technology, we also want to make sure that we have targeted learning. So the broader education system will do its part, but we also want to make sure that we are offering the kinds of courses and what we call micro-credentialing for people who may not want to sit in a university for 3 or 4 years. But I always say to people, you have to learn how to do something. But I keep saying to the young people in this community and across Barbados that you have to be able to prove that you have learned well how to do something.
The minister says gone are the days of an exclusive classroom approach to learning and suggests people should take up the many courses on offer online. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Hundreds of young Barbadians have benefited from training and have secured employment through government's Job Start Plus program. It was introduced for young Barbadians 16 to 24 years old by the Ministry of Labour, Social Security and the Third Sector to bridge the gap between job seekers and employers. Program officer with the ministry, Maureen Bowen, revealed some 450 people were trained since the initiative's introduction in 2019. And overall, she says there have been good responses, not only from young people, but from the program's partners.
The main purpose of the program is really to provide employment opportunities for young persons, especially those who are transitioning from the school environment into the working place. And you know, in most instances, they have minimal work experience or none at all. So that's the whole aim of the program, to assist them, usher them more or less into the working environment.
Job Start Plus program is set to welcome its latest cohort in November. Program assistant Deontay Collymore says training, which will be provided for 2 weeks, covers a range of topics including time management and resume writing. Mr. Collymore himself is a product of the initiative.
I consider myself a very productive person. So for me, when I left UE, it was very difficult to find work. I was home for about 3 months. I was just scrolling through Instagram and I came across a poster for the Job Start Plus program, and they said, well, I'm not doing anything at home, let me just apply to this program, get some experience, and so said, so done. For me, it was, as I said, it was difficult finding work. I wanted to be a productive member of society, so the Job Start Plus program provided that outlet for me to become a productive member.
The Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation is distancing itself from an image of Central Bank Governor Dr. Kevin Greenidge being circulated online with a false headline and an untrue information being attributed to him. The image has the CBC logo in the background. The CBC is making it absolutely clear that it totally disassociates itself from this image and the associated comments. The corporation further states it has not given anyone permission to use the CBC's logo and kindly requests that the parties involved in producing this misleading and erroneous information desist from using it. The Barbados Road Safety Association wants the proposal revisited to allow lawmen only to respond to and investigate road traffic fatalities and serious accidents. President Roland Lowe says the public has greater confidence in reports from the police. He says the decision to have insurance personnel respond to minor road accidents will have a great impact on the motoring public.
Having thought about it, I believe that maybe a better move would be to have a third-party arbitration board or set up to attend to these assets, and then a determination being made by that group or association or body then you could eliminate the idea or the fear of not having the opinions being objective and the determination is not being objective. Because, as I said from personal experience, I've had a situation where the determination of the insurance company was dead wrong. It was way outside the rules and the regulations of the road.
At a press conference this week, Attorney General Dale Marshall said the new arrangement will be launched on September the 15th to allow the Barbados Police Service to better manage its limited resources. Police say they investigate an average of 7,500 accidents each year, 71% of which are minor. However, Mr. Lowe, a former police officer himself, says initiatives should be put in place to attract more Barbadians to join the law enforcement agencies.
Maybe one of the other ways of tackling the issue of lack of police manpower is to look at the remuneration that's offered for the tasks that the police do. Maybe increase remuneration with the greater interest in the job itself, and then thereby garnering more personnel for the police service.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley wants former government minister, the late Rudolph Greenidge, to be accorded a national honour. Ms. Motley was among several Barbadians paying tribute to the former Member of Parliament of St. Philip North at the Coral Ridge Memorial Gardens. Lorna Jones reports.
Hundreds turned out for the official funeral of former government minister Rudolph Greenidge. Among them, President Dame Sandra Mason and Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley. Ms. Motley says her former cabinet and parliamentary colleague is deserving of recognition for his contribution to national development.
I want to say that I hope, and we have agreed that we will establish the responsibility or assign the responsibility to the National Honours Committee for the recognition of those Barbadians who have made a significant difference in the lives of their people and their communities. And I have every confidence that the community of Marley Vale, St. Catharines and East Point will recommend to that Honours Committee a suitable tribute for one who truly, truly was of you, for you, and raised by you.
Former Prime Minister Frundle Stewart, past and present members of Parliament, the judiciary and other dignitaries also joined Mr. Greenidge's family and friends at the Coral Ridge Memorial Gardens for the service. Henderson Clark has eulogized his brother as a community and family-oriented individual.
We are elated. We, his immediate family, we are related that he took Manana advice. She always told us, do not let our achievements or our failures in life define who we are. Cappy, you did that. You remained humble, kind, thoughtful. You were there under the almond tree with the boys playing a game of town, sipping a cup of tea from Rufine, or eating Morville food.
79-year-old Greenidge represented the constituency of St. Philip North from 1994 until 2003 and served as Minister of Labour and Education, Youth Affairs and Sports. Mr. Greenidge also served as Deputy President of the Senate. The father of Dr. Nadia Mason and Clive Blackett passed away on August 2nd. Lorna Jones, CBC News.
Two men on a police wanted list issued on Wednesday are now in custody. 18-year-old Jonathan Antonio Campbell of number 36 Lascelles Terrace, Pineland, St. Michael, and 45-year-old Wesley Elton Wiggins of Crusherside Road, Prospect, St. James, were wanted in connection with serious criminal matters. The two men turned themselves in yesterday, accompanied by their attorneys, and are assisting the police with their investigations. The Barbados Police Service has thanked the public and the media for their assistance. Well, there's no need to panic with no cases of Mpox currently on island. But President of the Barbados Association of Medical Practitioners, Dr. Linda Williams, advises the public to remain vigilant. On August the 24th, the World Health Organization declared Mpox a public health emergency of international concern, as it is now affecting multiple regions and several countries.
Health authorities have been put on notice to tighten up their surveillance for the appearance of a case. There are no suspected cases of Mpox in Barbados at this time in this current outbreak. Vaccination is available for those at high risk of exposure in some countries, and there is no specific treatment for Mpox, but symptoms are managed with supportive care. Anyone suspected of having a case of Mpox should be isolated and the case reported at once to the public health authorities.
The Frank Cullimore Literary Endowment Competition continues to play a part in the development of literary arts and artists on island. The awards, which started in 1988, recognize individuals for literary achievement during the past year. The endowment is supported by the Central Bank of Barbados. Creative producer and cultural consultant Aisha Gibson-Gill says there have been many success stories from winners. Her comments came on Morning Barbados.
We have to give people the space for their voices, written voices, and now the spoken word competition to be heard and to be seen, because writers need readers. Spoken word artists need a platform, and then from there and the prestige of the award, they go on to publication careers and to performance careers.
Chairperson Dr. Yvonne Weeks revealed the spoken word competition has been included for a second year. This, she says, will be separate from the writing competition.
They're not competing against each other, two separate competitions. So we have the writing competition and then we have the spoken word. And we're hoping that everybody will get their manuscripts finished, get their critical group of readers to read and critique their work, get their editors involved so that they can meet the deadline of September the 30th.
Close to 500 families have benefited from much-needed assistance with back-to-school supplies just in time for the new school term. It comes through the Eden Lodge Youth Charitable Trust, which has provided help in acquiring school books, uniforms, bags and shoes, and the paying of petty fees for secondary school students. President and Chief Executive Officer Dwayne Grisette says over 494 children have been assisted. He says these families face different challenges. The budget for the Trust Back-to-School program is around $400,000, and Mr. Grisette says the initiative is important as he urged continued investment in young Barbadians.
These are our future leaders. Some of them are integrated within the companies that help us when they're done the CXCs and they get the grades and stuff like that, and they get the grades through the technical assistance that we give for providing, their things for school for their academics. And, I would like to appeal to other Barbadians and other companies and stuff like that to get on board, even if they do their own back-to-school program. But they invest in our future and invest in the children, and especially where we are today with the crime situation in Barbados. We have to give our young people and we have to give our children hope for tomorrow and believe in them.
Dream Team Entertainment will be fulfilling the wishes of 50 school children as they get ready to go back to school. Communications consultant Wendy Burke explains following the staging of Summerfest 2024, and with quite a high number of parents supporting their entertainment endeavors, they see it as a corporate responsibility to give back.
We're going to be giving 50 children an opportunity to either access their school uniforms, their school books, or their school shoes. So dependent on what need is a bit more burgeoning or burdensome on the parent, we will provide that need. So say, for example, you have 2 children in the household, 1 at secondary, 1 at primary, that would be 2 out of the 50.
Well, those interested can fill out the form, which is available on Dream Team Entertainment's Instagram page, and once they meet the criteria, they'll be directed how to claim the needed items.
So basically, you have to have a child who's either into primary school or secondary school. You let us know what the need is, and because it is the dream team, we basically just want you to share a little bit of information about your child's academic dreams with us, so we know that yes, the child that we're helping is one that we can see in time to come, you know, doing well for and within Barbados.
The Garrison Graydon Seeley alumni is united to accomplish a common goal, that of raising funds to help the current crop of students at their alma mater. As part of that effort, they recently held a give back supported by old scholars and those in the entertainment fraternity. Rachel Agard reports.
The Garrison Graydon Seeley alumni is committed to making the learning institution better for all those who will be entering the gates in the future. And the all-white party was part of an effort to do just that. It's a collaboration by the alumni, board of management, and the principal and staff to raise funds to roll out new initiatives ahead of their 50th anniversary next year. And Deputy Principal Major Rodney Millington says a number of those plans will be implemented at the start of the new school year next month, targeting soft skills including manners, respect, and teamwork.
We have tweaked the curriculum a bit, where we're introducing an activity or an enrichment period into the curriculum. And this enrichment period will really call for some funds. It will call for transportation to be able to take the students places that we want to take them. We want to bring in some other personnel. So therefore, it will need to have some funds. And as you know, we cannot pay persons, even if we're going to give them a small token of appreciation.
Backed by the unit band, past students were wowed by entertainers like Sanctuary, Grateful Co, and Mikey and Blood. Lyric says it's his first time gracing the stage at his alma mater, and he's happy to support the cause.
It feels good, especially with knowing so many artists here that went at the Garrison that I didn't even know went at the Garrison. All that great performance, I didn't say he on the stage. I didn't even know he's a Garrisonian. And we still got a lot of more Garrisonians that I didn't see as yet, like Malcolm Metz and DJ Cat and Daddy Mark. And Garrisonians is big, and I hope that I'll be here next year. As long as I am available, I'm here for the Garrisonians anytime.
Assistant Secretary Treasurer of the alumni, Zelma Daisley, says the event was strategically set for the end of the crop over season to allow a wider cross-section of people to attend.
We're looking to have a walk run, which would involve the school. We're going to have like a give back project as well. And we're going to have other things as like the students coming in and mentoring to the young ones. And we're going to be doing a community outreach as well. So we want all Garrisonians from 1975 until current to visit the school, reach out to the alumni, and let us make the 50th a grand occasion.
The all-white event will now be a fixture on the annual calendar. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Time to head into the world of sports, and tonight we're joined on this Friday by our Gal Friday, Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pearson. And we start with some good news. Barbados boys are heading to the finals of the Caribbean Football Union on the 14 Challenge Series after defeating Turks and Caicos Islands 3-0 in their semi-final this evening. Playing at the Hazy Crawford Stadium in Trinidad, the young Tridents ended the first half goalless, but broke that deadlock in the 46th minute thanks to player of the match, Amari Small. He then assisted in the other two goals that were added by Trey Barker and Malik Peters. Now, speaking to CBC Sports after the match, team manager Dale Rudder said the squad is overjoyed to be finals bound.
We came out 3-0 victorious. I mean, just extraordinary play. I hear with the guys be in the dressing room just representing the blue and yellow. Everybody proud of Barbados. It was a really challenging first half, playing on the extremely wet surface, which was different from what we play on for the earlier part of the tournament. But yes, victorious, and I always thought that we would come through. Here with the guys just want to tell Barbados that we're proud to be here, and this is Barbados football. Hey, 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 hey.
The young Tridents will have to wait on the outcome of the second semi-final between Bermuda and Anguilla to see who their opponents will be in Sunday's final. Well, a few moments ago, West Indies won the first T20 International against South Africa, opting to field. Matthew Ford claimed 3 for 27. I was backed up by Shamar Joseph with 2 for 40 as the Windies held South Africa to 174 for 7 at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy in Trinidad. Tristan Stubbs had a knock of 76, including 8 fours and 3 sixes, while Patrick Kruger chipped in with 44. Chasing 175 for victory, the Windies ended on 176 for 3 in 17.5 overs to win by 7 wickets. Nicholas Pooran top scored with 65 not out, including 2 fours and 7 sixes, while Shea Hope added 51 with 2 fours and 3 sixes. The second T20 is on Sunday. Now, skipper Hayley Matthews again led her Barbados Royals women's side to victory in the 2024 Women's Caribbean Premier League, where they claimed a 7-wicket win over the host Trinbago Knight Riders women. Playing at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy and opting to field first, the Royals women restricted Knight Riders women to 113 for 9 in their 20 overs. Shikaya Pandey top scored with 30, while Captain Deandra Doughton made 28. Both Chanel Henry and Amanda Jade Wellington each took 2 for 14, while Matthews had 2 for 21. In reply, Royals women easily reached the target on 116 for 3 in 17.1 overs to win by 7 wickets. Player of the match, Matthews batted through the innings to end unbeaten on 67, including 12 fours. Now, with this win, the Royals are on a perfect 4 points from the 2 matches. The Knight Riders and the Ghana Amazon Warriors are winless from their 1 match each, but they'll play each other tonight. It will be live from 8 p.m. on MCTV Sports Match Channel 310. Repairs tonight pause here. When I return, we have some national teams doing really well in badminton, wrestling, and squash.
Sounds good. Thank you, Anne-Marie. We'll be right back with tonight's business report. In business tonight, local online shopping is growing. That's the view of Managing Director of Woolworth Store, Martin Bryan. He tells the business report that people are beginning to use the technology more.
Online shopping, we have been pushing that. We have everything we have in the store, but as we get in, we're adding, is available online. We've got quite a number of customers who have gone online to shop. We offer delivery island-wide, so if you want to stay in the comfort of your home, on your desk at lunchtime, place an order for your school clothes or for whatever we have in the store is available online and delivery.
Mr. Bryan says in-person shopping is still strong, but shoppers are taking to the online platform to view catalogs from the comfort of their homes.
In-person shopping is still, that's the majority of our business. But we're seeing more and more of our customers going online. You go online to check out the goods, you go online to purchase. A lot of people using it for a catalog. Let me see what we've got. Bajans, I think, are still very much touch and feel kind of people. The newer generation, you'll see them more online. And the things that are standard that you may not want to see. Obviously, with like school clothes, a lot of parents want to come and try them on and make sure they're buying the right size. But by and large, the online shopping is slowly and surely increasing daily.
Of Labour, Social Security and the third sector, Colin Jordan, is urging employers to only lay off workers as a last resort. On the heels of reports more than 200 employees at Sandals are being made redundant, Mr. Jordan told CBC News the overall needs and commitments of the workers must be considered.
They're human beings who have to support themselves, and more often than not, are supporting others. So when we talk about 200 persons being laid off, we are probably talking about 200 households being impacted. We can do a multiplier. It may be 2, 3, 4 persons, depending on each of those.
Mr. Jordan is also asking employers to work with the trade union movement to examine their operations before making critical decisions which would affect livelihoods.
I guess we'll encourage all employers to work with the trade union movement to examine your operations. You have realities you have to face, but make laying off of workers your very last resort.
Time now for tonight's trading report.
In Jamaica, Radio Jamaica Limited, with 15,482,718 units, was the volume leader, followed by Sagicor Select Funds Limited Financial and Bigton Wind Farm Limited Ordinary Shares. In Trinidad and Tobago, National Enterprises Limited was the volume leader, with 672,389 shares changing hands for a value of Trinidad and Tobago $2,061,634.51, followed by Massey Holdings Limited. And here in Barbados, First Caribbean International Bank was the sole security, trading 140 shares at Barbados $2.10 each.
That's tonight's business report. A break and then the weather with Carrie-Ann O'Neill.
The forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 5:46 and will set thereabout at just around 14 minutes after 6. Our first high tide is expected at 7 minutes after 7 in the morning, and the first low we can expect at 8 minutes to 1 in the early morning. Now those seas are calm to moderate in open water, with swells peaking at 1.5 meters. The winds, they're coming in from the east and they're peaking at 30 kilometers per hour. But here in Barbados tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies along with just a few showers. And over the next 3 days, a trough system will maintain occasionally cloudy skies along with showers here in Barbados.
And that's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend.